The dragon blood god of war roaring with fury, we've been planning this for years. You think you can just stroll in? But before he could finish, Gu Changge lazily waved his hand, just a flick. No! You! Poof! Deleted like a corrupted save file. Nishang saw the whole thing and was visibly shaken, such vast power of the rules. Meanwhile, Old Skeleton, the Bone Clan ancestor, was silently processing the scene like a man who just watched someone tear up a winning lottery ticket, turn to ashes. Even though the dragon blood god of war was already worn down, still this level of power? In the current 8 desolations and 10 realms, is anyone left who can match the young master? Then Gu Changge, cool as ever, stepped forward and casually placed the world tree leaf in Nishang's hand. It merged into her body, and instantly, her injuries were gone. Not healed, erased. All recovered, she said, still in disbelief. Gu Changge simply nodded. You two go out and finish off the rest of the Lin clan. Leave the enlightened one to me. Once I harvest the epic trees, I'll be out of here. And like the loyal lieutenants they are, both Nishang and Old Skeleton responded in unison, yes, young master. A few days later, we cut to the aftermath. A city is burning in the distance, its sky is smeared with smoke and ash. Floating outside are Wudi, Xiaoyang, and an old man, all silent, eyes locked on the destruction. Xiaoyang looks completely stunned, Mountain Master. What happened here? The old man doesn't answer right away. Then, he finally speaks, this Gu Changge is terrifying. A long pause. I think, trying to find him one by one is no longer an option. Then, even more quietly, almost like a whisper, my reappearance, it seems news of my birth has already spread. In the heart of the city, whispers were flying like gossip at a family reunion, the streets buzzed with rumors and disbelief. The Lin family, gone? Yeah, even their ancestors couldn't make it out. Inside a inn, 2 dudes were quietly talking over some warm drinks. The one with black hair scoffed. They acted all righteous, like saints with halos, then ditched Tianlu City when it mattered most. Honestly? They got what was coming. His buddy, a red-haired dude, looked around nervously and whispered. Still, it's scary, most of the big forces in the 8 desolate lands and 10 realms are either dead or surrendered, anyone left is probably next. Meanwhile, far from the gossip and drinks, Gu Changge was in a secluded place, wrapped in a swirling cocoon of energy. Around him, corpses lay like broken dolls, drained dry. Inside that cocoon, Gu Changge reflected. With the world tree's power, I'm basically untouchable in this world, but I can't afford to slack on my own strength. He reached into his inventory, like a cosmic loot box, and opened Lin Wu's treasure chest. System, congratulations. You've unlocked, perform martial arts. This allows you to deduce and control all the skills and magical powers in the world. Gu Changge blinked. What is this garbage? Who wrote this feature, and in turn? Disappointed, he closed his eyes again. Whatever. I've got the epic tree now. My journey through the 8 wastelands and 10 realms is basically complete. Then he called out, cool and sharp, Ada. From the shadows, Ada, reporting in. Spread my will, Gu Changge commanded. Invite the leaders of all the major tribes in the 8 desolations and 10 realms. He spoke like a man calling for a polite dinner party, not someone who just conquered half the world. Tell them that I, Gu Changge, am merciful. I care about the monks and the common folk. I don't want to see any more bloodshed. To ensure peace between both worlds, we'll hold a banquet in Tianlu City, half a month from now. Then, with a smirk, and if someone doesn't show up, it means they're not giving me face. Also, leak the intel I have on that second mountain master. Let the world chew on that. In the city, word of Gu Changge's so-called peace banquet spread like wildfire, and everyone had thoughts. This isn't a peace talk, someone muttered, it's an ambush wrapped in polite language. A real hangmen banquet. That phrase hit hard, a banquet with murder on the menu. Another person summed it up perfectly, if we accept, we might die. If we refuse, we're definitely dead. And honestly, no one could argue. Gu Changge wasn't just strong, he was cunning, calculating, and had the calm energy of someone who always knew he'd win. He even killed the dragon blood god of war, one elder whispered, if even he couldn't survive. Then the topic shifted. An old granny, bent with age but sharp as ever, leaned forward. I heard he also mentioned the 9 mountains. An old elf nodded gravely, only the great mountain master remains. The rest of the 9 mountains have been wiped out. And that guy? Slippery as mist in the wind. Even enlightened ones can't find him easily. Just then, a voice cut through the air, firm, resolute, in that case. I have no choice but to attend this hangmen banquet. Gasps, murmurs. Someone blurted out, so strong. Wudi looked out and muttered, so many imperial realms. All gathering in one place. Xiaoyang, clearly a little salty, thought, yeah, Gu Changge's terrifying, but I'm clearly the better guy. I wouldn't fold so fast. Probably. But the old man, standing beside them, stayed quiet. The only hope we have now is to unite all the remaining top forces. If we ever want to rescue Feng Zhu, this is the moment. Gu Changge's trap? Perfect for springing our own plan. People stared at him, their eyes widened. Wait a second, blind old man, you're him, aren't you? Someone shouted, that's the great mountain lord. No wonder Gu Changge dropped that name. You were really born. I thought it was just an old wives' tale. The old man, aka the great mountain master, nodded calmly. I know what's happening in the 8 desolate lands and 10 realms. And if Gu Changge's planning something, I'm going to be there to see it myself. He looked out over the crowd. But I won't go alone. Will you come with me? The younger generation might not remember your name, someone said, but we do. And if the great mountain lord is walking into danger, then we'll walk with him. They raised their hands, fists, voices in unison. We wish to go with the mountains. Xiao Yang pumped his fist. That's more like it. Time to settle the score. Woody grinned. Let's go. This time, we fight back. Inside the grand halls of Tianlu City. Young Master Changge, we've got our own affairs. You suddenly ask us to cooperate? That's unexpected. Yeah, I'm in the middle of conquering the ice field. You know how cold that place is? Gu Changge said, relax. In half a month, every tribe from the 8 wastelands and 10 regions will be here. Wouldn't it be beautiful to take them all in one strike? You're worried about your own little battles? Trust me, this is the bigger picture. He gave a meaningful glance, like a teacher explaining why homework is actually good for your future. Then one of the leaders in a red robe stepped up, trying to be diplomatic while still clearly nervous. What you say makes sense, young master, but how can you be sure they'll come? They're not fools. Everyone knows it's a trap. Another elder chimed in, nodding sagely, right, even sheep know not to walk into a butcher's shop with a sign that says free hugs. But Gu Changge just smiled wider, which somehow made everyone more nervous. You're worried they won't come? Don't be. Once we've dealt with these tough old bones, we can search for that thing. Won't it be easier when there's no one left to compete with? That shut everyone up. The room went quiet, not out of obedience, but the kind of silence where people were doing the mental math and realizing, wait, this guy's plan actually works. And worse, it might already be too late to back out. Gu Changge waved his hand, don't worry, they'll come. Then dropped the Real bomb. I've got the 2 masters of the 9 mountains and the entire guardian lineage in my hands. Luo Feng frowned and said, Mr. Gu, what tricks are you playing at? But inside his head, he was spiraling. Wait a minute, this guy doesn't have the same overwhelming aura as the one who destroyed the Immortal Palace. Am I just scaring myself? Did I hype him up too much? Gu Changge, seeing right through him, casually leaned in. Don't you want to see your old friends? Now that caught Luo Feng off guard, he barely had time to react before Gu Changge turned to Luo Ying and threw in another twist. Your younger brother? You'll meet him soon. Luo Ying's whole expression shifted. Brother. You know where he is. At this point, a man in a green robe stepped forward, cupping his hands in respect. It seems young Master Changge really has everything under control. We're probably just overthinking. Gu Changge gave his signature dismissive wave again, then go prepare. That was their cue to leave, but as they were walking down the stairs, Green Robe sent a telepathic message to Red Robe, basically whispering mentally, if Gu Changge knew it was the epic tree, why didn't he even flinch? Could he have already taken it? Red Robe didn't even hesitate. You're overthinking, look how long it took just to take Tianlu City. If grabbing the epic tree was so easy, then all those ancient freaks wouldn't have spent multiple lifetimes looking for it. So here's the scene. Gu Changge turns to Tianlu Xuannu and asks, I'll be holding a grand banquet in Tianlu City. Is that okay with you? Now, Xuannu's face? Stone cold. She replies. Mr. Gu, you can set it up wherever you want. Why are you even asking me? Gu Changge tilts his head and asks, angry? And Tianlu Xuannu shoots back, deadpan, Mr. Gu wouldn't care whether I'm angry or not, so why bother asking? Gu Changge, trying to play it cool but sounding just a bit defensive, says, I don't like hearing that. It makes us feel very distant. Tianlu Xuannu said, I also want to take my relationship with Mr. Gu to a new level. I can feel it. Mr. Gu doesn't have me in his heart. Half a month later, Tianlu City was buzzing as wave after wave of cultivators arrived. One bald guy muttered under his breath, Tianlu City now? Totally different beast. Since Tianlu Xuannu bowed her head to Gu Changge, she may still wear the crown, but she doesn't rule the chessboard. A white-robed granny chimed in, so don't expect that traitor to lift a finger for us when the fire starts. The bald man nodded, dead serious, better keep your heads down and your spiritual shields up. We don't know what kind of mess this banquet is really hiding. Then the granny squinted into the distance. Wait a second, is that someone from Yunza territory? Hold up, is that Fairy Qingyue? Genius cultivator, top-tier beauty, basically the Beyoncé of the 8 desolations. She was also Zhao Yun's fiancée, was, being the tragic keyword. They were once the power couple of their realm. But now? Fairy Qingyue showed up alone. And behind her, a heartbroken uncle was murmuring to himself like a man haunted, if only I hadn't let Yunza go to that battle, he wouldn't have died. It's my fault, your uncle failed you. The girl softly replied, Uncle, you don't need to blame yourself. For Yunza, to fight to the end for Yunza territory, it was an honorable fate. The uncle remembered and murmured to himself, you two should have been the perfect couple, it's all because of that damned Gu Changge. Then he locked eyes with Qingyue and asked, Are you really going through with this? She didn't flinch. At this point, what choice do I have? Whether for Yunza, or for the Yunza domain, I have to. As the palace gates of Tianlu City loomed ahead, 2 guards standing tall at the entrance suddenly shouted out all leaders of the 8 wastelands in 10 regions, dismount and walk into the palace. Right away, a red-haired man, who clearly didn't like being bossed around, scowled and grumbled, What's Gu Changge trying to pull? Is this a banquet or a humiliation ceremony? Behind him, a lady let out a sigh, what can we do? The winner takes it all, and the loser walks into the palace on foot. Then came Xiaoyang glanced around, nostalgic but tense, it's been months since I was last here. Everything's changed. I wonder how my sister and master are doing now, Woody said, don't worry. It'll all be okay. Nearby, a white-robed man skinned the crowd with narrowed eyes, so many powerhouses, some above quasi-emperor level, and the red-haired guy? Still salty, looks like a dragnet to me. We're walking right into a trap. As they got closer to the palace steps, someone in the crowd called out loudly, all official-like, Young Master Changge. We've come as you requested. Now we hope you'll keep your promise. Gu Changge said, you can rest assured, he said smoothly, with that usual smug composure. Now that you're here, please take a seat. Xiaoyang, eyes red, remembered his senior sister, then shouted, Gu Changge. Where are my master and my sister? Gu Changge blinked, tilted his head, and answered with mock curiosity, Who are you? Xiaoyang stood tall and declared, I'm Henry Zhang. Now that turned heads. There was a ripple of whispers across the hall, the disciple of the great mountain master? What's this kid doing? Is he crazy? Does he want to get flattened? Everyone here's older than him. Know your cultivation rank, junior. Woody, always the voice of reason, immediately sent a voice transmission, junior brother, chill. This is not the time to pick a fight. You're poking a dragon while holding a feather. Meanwhile, an old man, cool as a cucumber, just sipped his tea, watching this drama unfold like a reality show. Gu Changge, smiling like a villain with a surprise up his sleeve, waved a hand, well then, I suppose this is a good moment to show you all Gu's sincerity. Bring them up. Xiaoyang's breath caught as familiar figures appeared. Master. Sister. His master looked up, stunned. Xiaoyang? And then Luowen gasped, You're my younger brother. In the crowd, the old man's eyes narrowed. I don't sense Fengzu's aura. Looks like Gu deliberately didn't bring him out. Xiaoyang, emotion surging, rushed forward, Gu Changge. Release them now. But Woody grabbed him just in time, stop. Gu already said if the alliance goes well, he'll release them. You blow this, and you're not just ruining peace, you're signing a death warrant. Then came the voice of authority. The old man stood. Xiaoyang. Step back. Xiaoyang froze Lord Oyama. The old man snapped, shut up. And then, with his gaze locked on Gu Changge, voice calm but heavy with purpose, he asked, Young Master Changge, what exactly is this peace covenant you mentioned? Gu Changge thought to himself, is this the great master of the 9 mountains? Although it looked ordinary on the surface, the aura that was collapsing inwards was far beyond the reach of the dragon blood god of war. Then he opened his mouth and dropped the peace plan. It's simple, he said. Spoiler, it was not simple. From today on, the 8 desolations in 10 regions will become vassals of the upper realm. You serve us. You provide resources. Regularly. Now that lit the fuse, one person basically exploded. What? Gu Changge, that's going too far. This isn't a peace treaty, it's slavery with extra steps. Another one joined in, furious. You talk about peace, but you're just sugarcoating domination. Gu Changge? He didn't flinch. He just slammed his teacup on the table like an ancient judge sentencing someone to life. Oh? So you're rejecting my kindness? And then his voice went cold. Like, villain reveal cold, do you really think you're qualified to negotiate with me? Phew. The room got colder than a cultivator's cave in winter. Someone couldn't help snapping back, you're so arrogant. But the old man stepped in, still trying to play diplomat, is there no room to negotiate? Meanwhile, in his head he was sweating bullets, Fengzu hasn't shown up yet, we can't start a fight now. But Xiaoyang? Xiaoyang was done playing politics. The boy stood up and threw down like a drama protagonist who's been holding an episode's worth of rage. What room? There's no room left. Either you kneel or you fall. A few others chimed in, frustrated and confused. What do you really want, Gu Changge? If it's surrender you want, then just say it. Don't dress it up like it's a peace banquet. This is war with wine service. And right then, boom, someone shouted. He's an enlightened being from the upper realm. We're surrounded. Everyone's face said the same thing. This isn't a negotiation, it's a trap. The realization hit hard. Like showing up to a wedding and realizing you're the sacrifice. Gu Changge, standing there like he owned the place, which, to be fair, he kind of did, looked at the crowd and gave them the reality check of a lifetime. You really think just talking about a treaty means I'll pack up my army and go home? What kind of fairy tale are you people living in? There's no such thing as wishful thinking diplomacy. Then, slowly but confidently, the old man stepped forward. You're right, he said, calm as a monk after meditation. The upper realm has spent too much time, effort, and blood to conquer these lands. Of course they're not going to just shake hands and leave. If the 8 desolations and 10 realms become a subordinate realm, maybe, just maybe, we can stop the chaos and avoid even more people dying. You could hear the gasps ripple through the crowd. People were shocked, furious, even. Master Dashin. What are you saying? The great mountain master is giving up? You coward. Old man said, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we have to choose carefully, right? Gu Changge's lips curled just slightly. A wise man, I see. Then the old man, still trying to keep some control, added, we'll think about your so-called peace treaty. Give us 3 days. Let us discuss it here in this temple, and then you'll have our answer. Gu Changge, as if he were handing out favors instead of threats, smiled and agreed. 3 days. Fine. But no one leaves Tianlu City. If anyone tries to sneak out, well, let's just say Gu's men won't be offering hugs. The girl said with telepathy. Uncle the man replied, well, it's going to be hard for you. After a while. In the room, Gu Changge said, the banquet is over. Is there anything else, Lord Yunza? The man said, young Master Changge, this matter needs to be separate. Gu Changge pondered, if I remember correctly. Is this Zhao Yunza's father? Then gestures towards Tianlu Xuannu is one of us, but it doesn't matter if she says anything. The man said, I heard that there are many beauties around young Master Changge. You will be more interested in beautiful women. Qingyue is the most recognized beauty in Yunza territory over the years, so. The girl said Qingyue has met young Master Changge. Tianlu Xuannu wrinkled her brows and thought. Offering a daughter-in-law for honor? Gu Changge looked back and said, has my reputation as a lecher spread so widely in the 8 desolations and 10 regions? Tianlu Xuannu rolled her eyes. The man said, this time, we in the Yunza region will do our utmost to cooperate with the peace treaty established by young Master Changge, and will not have any ulterior motives. Gu Changge said, as far as I know, isn't Yunza domain's most talented beauty very close to your son Zhao Yunza? The girl said, to be honest with young Master Changge, Qingyue does have a good relationship with Yunza, but they are just friends and there is nothing inappropriate about them. Qingyue is still a virgin. Gu Changge said then. Lord Yunza will step down first? Gu needs to do something? The man said naturally. The girl thought to herself, it's really a rotten person. Gu Changge said, I haven't tasted a woman in the quasi-emperor realm yet, the figure is really good. But I killed Zhao Yunza, are you really not going to help him get revenge? The girl said, with my strength, how can I avenge him? It's hopeless. Young Master Changge, you are worrying too much. Now the 8 desolate and 10 realms are in a precarious situation. Qingyue is like a floating duckweed, just wanting to find someone to rely on. Gu Changge said, oh? So impatient? And Tianlu Xuannu closed her eyes. Gu Changge said, so I'm not polite? Then kicked her, which baffled Tianlu Xuannu. Subscribe.
Like.
Comment.
Share.